and whose pink hat is that?
You know whose pink hat that is, Kirk? That's Steve Jaques, defenseman for the Tri-City Americans. Great game tonight, Steve Jaques. Steve Jaques, of course, picking up the game-tying goal, a power play goal late in the third period. And, Steve, that was quite a shot. Let me tell you what, that thing had both Kirk and I. That was a blur. You really got into that one.
Yeah, well, as any time you can walk in one time while the puck's coming the other way, it's going to be a hard shot as long as it's going at the net, because the force of the puck coming towards you and then you shooting it back, it always goes hard, I guess.
Well, yeah, it definitely did. All we saw was it hit in the back of the net. We were trying to figure out how it got there. It was like it was on a string or something. Steve, tonight you played a very good defensive contest. It was one of these kind of games where really the passing was a little bit sloppy. It got to the point where nobody could really finish it up, and that put a lot of pressure on the defense because the game was turned around so many different times. Holding Spokane down, of course, to 1 goal. Fact is, on the goal that they did get, it deflected off your stick, and you don't get any kind of credit for that, but it did give it a 1-1 all tie tonight. The big thing, I think, is that there was only 4 defensemen tonight. You got a lot of ice time.
Yeah, it helps defensively if you can get out there every shift and get in a groove and a routine, and you're out there with your partner, and you don't have to worry about, you know, fighting or anything, because you just got to stay on the ice, and you just play your game, and that helps. And Olaf Kolzig is playing good for us, and the forwards know that you're pretty tired because you're out there every second shift, so they're coming out and helping you a lot out there too. So it's always going to be a good defensive game, I think, if you do go with 4 defense. But the thing is, it's hard to play 3 games in 3 nights, or 4 games in 5 nights going with 4 defense. You just get too fatigued.
A couple of times tonight where the Spokane Chiefs wanted to drop the gloves, go at it with a couple of Americans tonight, and the guys were able to stand back and really just be very disciplined and not drop the gloves and go at it. One of the reasons is obviously that we were a little short on the blue line tonight.
Yeah, well, there's no way any of our defensemen can fight when we only have 4, and I mean, Thurston going after Bill Lindsay is no comparison between the caliber hockey players there. So, there's no sense fighting. If they want to fight, they know, who they can fight. So, that's just ridiculous to fight guys like that to get maybe, 2 or 3 shifts a period.
How do you think your game comes from the beginning of the season? Have you really improved quite a bit? Your power play assists are about half of what your total assists are. So you're getting a lot of good opportunities to get in there and really be offensive. Is that where you really want to go, offensive defenseman?
Well, I could talk to you all night about this, about my season, but I want to play basically how I played last year. I kind of did everything. I played good defense and good offense. I think my talent and my skating's improved a lot this year, but I've had a really hard time. It seems when I am playing good offensively, I'm playing bad defensively, and when I'm playing good defensively, I'm not getting the points. So hopefully by the end of the season, come playoff time, I'll have it all together.
Tri-City Americans tonight, with the tie, have at least got themselves a tie to the playoffs now, the way that the points all figure out. So it looks as if the Tri-City Americans have made it to the playoffs for the 2nd consecutive year. You got to be feeling pretty good about that, at least.
Yeah, well, of course, it's better than not making the playoffs, but you can't call this a successful season by any means. At the beginning of the year, we were looking to be 1st overall, but as it happened, Seattle and Kamloops kind of ran away with it. But I do think the way our team's going now, save for, we couldn't score tonight, but that happens once in a while. I think we can beat either one of them in the playoffs. I have no doubt in my mind about that. All
right, Steve Jaques, ladies and gentlemen. And Tom, do you have anybody back there that has their hands raised up real quick? I did see one back there.
What's the hardest hockey rink to play on?
Your hardest place to play hockey in this league?
Oh, definitely Kamloops, because it's about half the size of our rink. Not half, but it's a lot smaller than our rink, and you just don't have enough time to move, and they're really coming hard at you, so you just kind of got to get back there real quick, and if you can't see anybody pass to you, bang it off the board, and you're always getting hit. So for me, that's the hardest rink to play in.
Okay, one more question we only have time for, because he's got to be taken off here.
You just turned 21, right, Steve?
Yep.
So what team do you want to play in? Play for? I know you draft for a team. What team do you want to play for?
I want to play for that team, the LA Kings.
And by the way, the Los Angeles Kings did have a representative here tonight. and was very gracious on his compliments about you tonight, Steve. He liked what he saw out there, and hopefully we'll be able to see Steve Jaques playing with at least the New Haven team of the American Hockey League, or up there with the Los Angeles Kings in the next season. Good game tonight, Steve.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, Steve Jaques, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with Steve McNutt when we return. The final score once again, Spokane and the Americans tied it at 1.